Hi guys, Zach here with another Command & Conquer Red Alert video. In this game I'm playing a 4v4 match on the map Super Bridgehead. I'm starting in the top right position, playing as the Soviets. Now in this game I've got Eric at the south, and I know Eric likes to go multi-MCV. I also know he likes to build a lot of infantry at the start, which is why I'm going to build a lot of infantry also. So we're going to have sort of like a bit of an infantry battle at the start. First of all, what I'm doing is I'm just making sure that I take some infantry both to the left and to the right of my base, and just get them all at the main entry points. And you can see there, little scout trying to get through, so we blocked out, and now I'm just going to be filtering infantry down to this sort of like bottom position. And I think I'm going to go like from the bottom right position. I think that's probably the best way to go, rather than go to the left, because on the left there's a bridge, and that bridge is probably going to be hard to get through, so I'm just going to leave some infantry there just to block any scouts. But I'm going to be bringing my main force down this section here. And I've also got my war factory on the build. I will go for 2 war factories before I build my second ore refinery. What I am going to do though is, quite often what I do is I just build a single ore truck and then go for tanks. But I'm going to build 2 ore trucks here because I am doing a bit more of infantry aggression, which is going to cost more resources, so I'm going to need a better economy. And now we're going for the attack on yellow. We can see yellow's got some infantry. It looks like he's got quite a lot of infantry to the right, so I'm going to keep an eye on them. But it looks like I'm getting into the base, and I'm going to go for that ore refinery. And if we manage to get that down, that is a big win. That is absolutely huge. And now we're going to go for that war factory as well, and that war factory going down. So that is a really big win for us. And I'm now going to build an extra power plant, and we can see our second ore truck is on the build. And this is dangerous for me. Yellow's managed to sneak a lot of infantry around the back, and they're going to go for the construction yard. It looks like they're going to go for the war factory, and that war factory going down. And now I'm just trying to use my ore truck just to provide some damage, as well as my infantry and my tanks. But yeah, it looks like that war factory is on low HP, and we're just going to manage to save it just about. And now I'm going to take some infantry down, a bit further down, and we're going to go on the attack. But we can see that yellow is bringing more infantry to my base, but he's being badly damaged, and he doesn't really have the tanks built yet, but he's got some infantry. We have to stop these infantry getting to my base, because he could destroy my ore refinery, and I'm having to build another war factory to replace the one he's destroyed. So let's see how this goes. We're just trying to destroy these infantry as quickly as possible, and that was a big squash right there. So that's a lot of infantry killed. And now blue going in for the attack as well with his light tanks on the left side of my base. And now, yeah, red's going in to provide some defence, and I've got my war factory out, but I'm going to need to build another power plant, possibly in case blue destroys it. And now I'm going to go for my next ore refinery, because you can see that blue is targeting that ore refinery. Also yellow as well with those infantry. We do get the squash a little bit again, but hopefully red will be able to defend the left side of my base. And what we'll do is, you can see yellow just producing loads and loads of infantry. It's costing them a lot of resources, but they can do a lot of damage, so I can't leave them unchecked. And I think what yellow is doing is just buying himself time, allowing himself to build units back up. So what I'm going to try and do after I get this ore refinery down is I'm going to build a flame tower just to provide some defence on this side of the base. And now it looks like we're going to be able to go to yellow's base. I'm going to send these tanks downwards, because you can see those infantry have ran out now. But the problem is that blue is coming in with some light tanks, and I'm going to bring some heavy tanks that I've been building, and there's more light tanks coming through, and this could be very bad for me. I'm going to take these heavy tanks down to yellow's base, so because I do need to get yellow out of the game before he can recover. We can see orange coming in now with some light tanks. I'm just trying to destroy some buildings. And blue also has an attack on my base. And this is bad, because it looks like he's got my ore refinery down. And all I can do now is, I think that's all my ore refinery is gone. So I'm just going to need to try and destroy as much of yellow's base as I can. But it looks like yellow might have moved his MCV, because I don't see any buildings there. So and I think it might be in another person's base. So I'm just going to move my tanks right across the left side of the map and just see what I can do, if I can get any kills on blue's base or orange's base. And you can see red having a bit of defence there, but I'm pretty much over. I don't have any resources to build another ore refinery, so all I can do now is go on the attack and just hope for the best. And that looks like my construction yard is now gone. I've still got a building though, I've still got some tanks here. I'll see what damage I can do, and at the very least I'll get some of the map uncovered and give my allies a bit more sight over what's going on in other parts of the map. I'll try and get some good structural kills if I can. We've got a war factory there, but it looks like blue has got light tanks there, and also orange has got light tanks there, and unfortunately it looks like we're not going to be able to destroy any of those structures. I'm just going through to get as much vision as possible, and unfortunately there I'm out of the game, and I'm going to take it into the observe view now, just so we can see what's going on. And this is a bit earlier in the game, just to show what happened on the left side of the map, but we'll be staying in this view all the time now. I'm just showing you the bases. We can see there's a lot of pillboxes there on either team, and they were sort of like having more of a standoff. And now we'll go to our team's view, and now you can see Cyan coming down with some tanks, and we can see blue going in there, through there with some light tanks. And let's see what Cyan does now. He's got quite a few heavy tanks. Is he going to go on the attack? It does look like it's going to be so. There is an ore refinery there, ore truck there that we can destroy. And you can see there that ore truck from purple getting bombarded by something. But now Cyan's going for the attack on green space, and he's using heavy tanks, so those pillboxes, although they do a tiny bit of damage, they won't be much of an issue. And he's pushing into pink space now, and it doesn't look like pink has great tank numbers. It looks like Cyan is certainly got the most here, and now he's taking out those war factories. The one war factory down, and a second war factory is soon to follow. And now he's going to go for the construction yard, so he can't build any more war factories, and he tries to undeploy it, but that gets destroyed as well. And now he's starting to destroy some of those tanks, and that's a good idea, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to get like almost destroy the whole base with a couple of buildings left, and then pink could go on a counter-attack if Cyan does lose all his tanks. But it looks like his tank numbers are still good, and it looks like pink is going to be out of the game. So that's another one out. And now Cyan going for the attack on orange. Let's see if blue provides some support on this side of the map. And that's me going out of the game, I think, just a bit further down. And now Cyan's going for the attack on the war factory of orange. But orange has got quite a lot of tanks here. Cyan's still going to the attack. He's trying to take out the construction yard, which looks like it's going to go down, and it does. And now he's going to go for the war factory, so he's trying to take out all the like structures that can build tanks. And now he's going for the war factory as well. But the problem is he's losing a lot of tanks, and he could be susceptible to a counter-attack. So he has to be very, very careful now. Taking out that third war factory, it looks like it's going to go down, and indeed it does. And now he's trying to pull back and regroup his tanks. The trick now is he has to survive the counter-attack, because blue and orange both have a lot of light tanks, and you can see some light tanks going into the back of Cyan's base. He's got some tanks at home, but it looks like his construction yard is under threat. It looks like it's going to go down. It's on low HP, and he sells it off. So at least he gets some resources from it. But those blue light tanks now going to another part of the map, where it looks like purple. It looks like he could go on the attack as well. So now it's Cyan and purple kind of work together to survive. And orange is going against purple, and purple's got a lot of light pillboxes there as well, and orange throwing his tanks in. And I don't think this is a good idea, because I think orange is going to lose a lot of tanks, and I think he would have been a lot better attacking Cyan rather than purple's base, because purple just had so many base defences, and light tanks just have so low HP. They're not very effective in those situations, and any tanks that orange loses he can't replace, because he doesn't have the war factories. And now we can see red, our teammate, coming in for the attack on blue's base. Let's see how this goes. You can see blue trying to urgently pull back to his base, and Cyan coming down as well. You can see orange's base is almost completely destroyed, so now red is coming in from the left hand side. We can see Eric now able to build some tanks and bringing some tanks in there from the right side of the map. But those red tanks look like they're going to go down, and I think red's been in a bad position there. He was just like filtering a few tanks in there, because with the cliffs around that area he would have been a lot better bunching his tanks up further up the map. But now we can see that Cyan is coming in this side as well, and we can see that blue is going on the attack. Well, he's fighting with light tanks, and it looks like those red tanks are going to go down. And Cyan and purple look like they're going for orange's base, and orange is completely out of the game now. I would have been tempted though just to go straight for blue's base before blue finishes his fight with red. And now they're on the top of the base. They're going to take out that radar dome, but it looks like those red tanks are getting killed. And it looks like Cyan is going for blue's base, but he doesn't have the tank numbers, and blue has a lot of tanks there to defend with, and those Cyan tanks look like they're going to be taken out. It does look though like blue could struggle for resources, maybe, but those Cyan tanks, just not enough of them, and they're going to be taken out. There's only 3 left, and he's going to just have to fight back at his base. But there's yellow on the right side of the map, and yellow's starting to build up right now. But purple going on the attack and destroying that outer base where my base started position. We can see yellow construction yard, MCV, getting away there, and looks like he's going to the top part of the map. But now yellow's been able to recover. We can see he's built a good economy, and he's going to be able to produce quite a few tanks from that economy. We'll have to see what blue decides to do now. He's coming in with a great number of light tanks, and it doesn't look like Cyan has anything to defend with, unfortunately. So he's going to need some help from maybe red or purple, but red looks to be in a bit of a difficult spot, and he's trying to rebuild up his economy so he can start producing tanks again. But right now it looks like blue has the upper hand. He's got a lot of light tanks there, and it looks like he's going to be able to tear through Cyan's base in a moment. Cyan's tank numbers are completely gone, and we can see on our radar dome the yellow is starting to do an attack on purple's base as well. Purple low bringing some tanks in to go for blue, and let's see what damage purple can do. But he does have trouble at home, and he started attacking that war factory, but he's pulled away very, very quickly. And if I was purple, I would have been tempted just to go for blue and just try and destroy as much of the base as possible, and just sacrifice my base. But we can see that red is trying to build back up, but he doesn't have any tanks yet. And now we can see those light tanks of blue just tearing through Cyan's base, destroying some of the war factories, destroying some of the ore refineries, and now blue going for purple's base. So purple's getting attacked from both sides. He's got blue light tanks on the left side of his base, and he's got yellow heavy tanks on the right side of his base. And he did seem to be defending okay there, but blue sort of found a weak spot. Because obviously he didn't build his base defences at the top of his base because his teammate was there earlier on. And now we can see that red is built some heavy tanks, and now he looks like he's going for the attack on blue, and Cyan's bringing whatever tanks he's got left, and unfortunately purple is a bit sandwiched. He's got Eric on one side and the light tanks on the other side, and there's nothing purple can do in this situation but try and buy as much time as possible. So let's see what red and Cyan can do against blue. Unfortunately, I think blue might be building more tanks at his base, so might have something to defend with. And you can see purple's last buildings going down. But you can see the number of light tanks at blue's base is substantial, and they're going to be able to take out those red tanks no problem. So unfortunately, those red tanks in the end weren't able to do any damage. But we can see, yeah, the red tanks trying to attack some buildings, but there's not much there. I don't know how that red tank actually got down there in the first place, but it did. And he's doing some attacks to those ore trucks. But it doesn't look like blue's too worried. And yellow is now coming for Cyan. Cyan and red. Cyan destroying that middle base from yellow. So you can see that yellow MCV that moved up earlier in the game. It went right in the top middle part of the map and taking some more from that situation. But that base has gone down now, but those yellow tanks are substantial and are going to be able to take out the remaining Cyan tanks. Now I don't know if we're glitching here because that Cyan ore refinery looks a bit out of place, and you can see that this blue object moving around, so it does look like there's a bit of glitching in this game, unfortunately. I can also see a purple heavy tank amongst those yellow heavy tanks. So yeah, we're getting some of the colour glitching, which I think we saw in one of those games in one of the free-for-all matches I played ages ago, and that blue object destroyed now. So we've just got this yellow army with a purple tank randomly in the middle. But obviously it will be Eric's, and it would have looked like yellow in the game when it was actually played. It's just on the replay sometimes you do have these types of glitches where you get some of the wrong colours assigned for some reason. But now that Eric's going for that Cyan base, and it looks like those buildings are going to be taken out pretty quickly. And that's Cyan out of the game. And now it's just red left. And you can see Cyan's built right up. Blue's got a lot of light tanks there, and they're just destroying the last of the red tanks that are at the bottom of the map. Red was trying to mount a bit of an attack against yellow there, but there's just too many units on map. They don't have enough tanks there, and they're now going to get absolutely swarmed. And after the stats, what I'm going to show you is a bit of the replay of where the game could have possibly been won if things had played out a little bit differently, if I'd made a different decision. Because at one part of the game, I was in Eric's base, and I thought Eric had moved his MCV to the left side of the map, but I was actually wrong. And we'll just see the replay here so you can see there's the stats. I actually killed quite a few more than I thought I would have. And you can see this was a point where I decided to go to the left because I thought Eric had moved his MCV. But if we look at the full screen view, what we can see is that Eric's MC construction yard is down at the bottom. So if I'd gone for that construction yard and then destroyed the MCV that he was building from his war factory, that could have ended the game because he wouldn't have had enough resources to build another MCV and ore refinery. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.